Hi, my name is Caroline Stanfill. I am the Regional Coordinator for the Office of Justice and Peace, the Diocese of Richmond, and commissioned by Christ approached our diocese looking for a mission in Southwest Virginia, and so here we are coordinating with the community garden and school gardens here in Floyd, Virginia.
And why is it important for Commissioned by Christ to be here helping the community?
In a lot of rural communities, as is the case with Floyd, there's a lack of access to resources. Getting food, going to the grocery store can sometimes be a 30 or 45-minute drive for folks. There is not as much access to getting to stores to get the things people need and things like that. And so working with the community gardens and the school gardens here in Floyd, Commissioned by Christ is really providing food for people who are homebound and low-income families. There's obviously not a lot of jobs around, considering that it's a rural area, and if you're not farming and making money from that, it could be difficult. So teaching children to grow their own food and helping folks in the community have access to gardens and the tools that they need to be able to grow their own food is going to have a great impact for the future of folks in this community that are in need.
The other projects that we've been working on, for example, we worked with Angels in the Attic and Plenty. Can you talk about those two organizations and how they help the community?
Sure. Angels in the Attic is a clothing closet, also has a thrift store with it that provides clothing to people in the community who are in need, low-income families or people in crisis situations. So the work that you did there is, definitely going to help them to be organized for future, to meet the needs of the future clients. And then with Plenty, of course, they're doing community gardening and providing garden spaces for people, as well as providing fresh fruits and vegetables to people on a mobile basis. And so the work that Plenty does is really helping the future generation as well, and the school gardens learn how to provide food for themselves and their families.
For people who live in maybe more urban areas and larger cities, what would you tell them to raise awareness about rural communities and how they can get involved to help?
I think the first step is just educating people on the different issues that people face. It could be the next county that has completely different needs from theirs, and just being aware of that and knowing that although they're not in our community, they still have their own needs, and we still have we still have to be brothers and sisters and live in solidarity with them as much as possible.
This trip's theme is Who is Your Neighbor? How could you expand on how this trip is exemplifying that? Being a good neighbor, being a good Samaritan.
Sure. I know, the biblical, background for that is that the man who was beaten on the past neighbor was a Samaritan, which was actually somebody who wasn't even from his country. So we know that when Christ tells us to love our neighbor, he's not just talking about those people who are in our daily lives or who live around us. He's talking about everyone and all of his children and all of our brothers and sisters in Christ. So.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.